Good afternoon, Copers and Copettes. What is going on with my camera right now? Hold on. There we go. Good afternoon. It is Saturday. It is the Saturday call-in show, taking your calls. If you would like to call in, you can find the link in the description on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, or the Cozy About page. And we do it through StreamYard, which is a browser thing. It's a link you click to open the studio in your browser. Your browser will ask you to give access to your microphone. You must give the browser access to the microphone in order to be able to be on the call. What else? It's heavy week. We're doing the heavy all week. Great band. Let's just get into it. Space Godzilla, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Hey, LP, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I don't really have a lot of stuff to talk about. I was just going to ask you, are you going to review the Superman movie?
No. Hello?
Yeah, okay, that was it. So I guess it just doesn't look interesting enough for you to review?
No, I'm not particularly interested. I don't even know if I'm going to watch it. It's like, I probably won't watch it. I don't watch much Cape shit. Some few exceptions. Like I will be watching The Boys final season, finishing off The Boys, and but like even the stuff that is kind of better, like Guardians of Galaxy, I think is kind of better than average Cape shit, but I haven't watched the last Guardians. I just don't watch that stuff. And I did like react to the trailer on the Cope and talk about that because, you know, people were talking about how bad it looked. And I said, I mean, it looks like a movie for children. It's kind of goofy. And I said that like people have got it in their heads these days that comic book movies need to be very dark, you know, ever since like The Dark Knight and Joker, Todd Phillips. People want the superhero movies to be very adult oriented. And actually, it's okay for them to be like cool for kids to watch. And that is basically what I said. So that was my take. But what is your thoughts on the Superman movie? Why are you interested in it?
Well, LP, I just the thing is, I saw it with a friend. You see?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it wasn't. I didn't dislike it by any means, but I thought Man of Steel was better.
Okay. What didn't you like about it?
Well, they basically, so Man of Steel, they kind of show Clark Kent and how he struggled with his powers from an early age.
You know what? I regret asking. I don't care.
All right, LP. Look, I just want to say, I know Cape shit is pretty immature, but sometimes I just want to watch a movie about normal white people, you know?
Sure. I'm not looking down on people who do want to watch it. It doesn't interest me is really all it is.
Yeah, but to me that's just the interest, just watching a movie about normal white people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean.
And I thought that, and yeah, at the end of the day, this Superman, just like Man of Steel, I thought it was a movie about normal white people, which is what I liked.
Sure. Okay, cool.
All right. Thanks, LP. See you next time.
All right, Space Godzilla. Thanks for calling. Have a good one. The Orthodoxer, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Hey, LP, am I lagging at all?
Not yet.
Okay, let's hope not. So I just gotta say I loved how you were like, oh, so why didn't you like that movie? To the last guy, I think you're
As
like,
soon as
wait,
you said,
never
as soon as
mind.
you said
I'm good.
Clark Kent, I was like, wait, what am I doing here? Yeah. No
Yeah,
offense. No offense to
I
anybody.
used to be. Oh yeah. I used to watch. Are you familiar with like the Geeks and Gamers and Friday Night Tights guys? I know you want to be into them, but have you heard of those guys?
Is that like it's like Nerdcrotics and Mauler and people like that?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm aware of them. Yes. I don't watch
Okay.
their
I
stuff
used to
either.
watch them a lot back in the day, but I just kind of outgrew it. 50-some-year-old men collecting action figures and comic books. I was like,
Like
I'm
that's what I'm
good. I
saying.
just
And
like,
like you're mad. Like you're mad because Superman is woke or whatever Star Wars is woke, whatever and it's like, dude, you're getting like demographically replaced. Your children are going to be like bullied in school if you had it. Like maybe, I don't know, man, maybe there's bigger things to talk. It's not that stuff doesn't matter. Culture matters, but we're sort of in an existential crisis right now where there are bigger. I don't like generally to do the like problem B thing where it's like, why do you care about that? You should care about this. But I just like, yeah, I don't know, man. If your biggest problem in life is bad comic book movies, maybe life just isn't that bad for you.
yeah, but that wasn't what I wanted to talk about. I just had to brush on that a little bit. But oh man. So I was listening to your Arval. I don't know how to pronounce that guy. Like you said, he looks like a statue out of Nazi Germany or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's just Arval.
I'm sorry?
I think it's just Arval. I think it's just like it looks, but anyway, go ahead.
Arval, okay. I've never heard of him. I never knew anything about him until you streamed about him on Thursday or whatever that was. But yeah, so I was listening to that, and he was deep into the podcast, but you said you stayed in a Freemasonic temple with your buddy who'd listened to Black Sabbath. Like y'all lived in a Masonic temple for a while. It was like abandoned or something.
Yeah, it was like a former. They had like, I don't know, shut down shop, and the building was just empty, and my friend bought it. Yeah, the old Sonic temple.
I know you said you don't know much about Freemasonry. It is very dark and evil the further up the ladder you go. But like in the ranks and the degrees of Masonry, and it is like Kabbalistic magic for Goyim. That's essentially what it is. It's very dark stuff. So
Right.
you never experienced anything strange there, like out of the ordinary?
No, and it wasn't like, I know when I say, you're probably like envisioning like checkered floors and like weird columns and like carvings, but it wasn't like that at all. It was a very plain building with big room. It had like basically two big rooms. It was 2 floors with a big ass downstairs open space and a kitchen, and then upstairs was just another big like open space. And there was nothing particularly noteworthy, much less sinister about it, to be honest.
Okay. Well, I had to ask because people's experience with Masonry is it varies. Some people have the shock of their life, like they're followed by spirits. I know you said you are. Would you say you're a non-denominational Christian? Is that what you've said in the past?
Yeah, something like that. Protestant, non-denominational, something like that.
Yeah, okay. So do you, as a general Protestant, do you believe in like demons and like possessing people and
you're starting
vexation and all that stuff?
Yeah, you're starting to break up. I do, though. I don't know what the Protestant teachings or the various sects, but I do believe in demons and possession. I think demons are real.
Okay, I think
Yeah, we're losing you, man. It's not working. We're losing you. I'm not getting anything. All right.
Okay, hang on. I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I guess I dipped into a pocket back there. Sorry. So I won't move. Anyway, so I was asking because in apostolic Christianity, both in Catholicism and my religion, Orthodox Christianity, we believe in like demons can actually like manifest in your house. My friend had a literal haunted house. Like it was, he actually had to call his priest and get his house blessed because he's having so much demonic activity in his house. So me thinking Freemasonry, anything that is worshiping God outside of the triune God, it's going to attract demons. So I was like, I wonder if anything happened to LP, but
Yeah, I mean, I was
just
a lot
curious about
less.
that.
You know, I wasn't like looking for anything, but I really don't think like anything like that happened. I think I would have noticed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad nothing happened to you, my friend.
Yeah, me too.
I would like to discuss more, but do we have people in the queue
I
waiting?
do. I have several people waiting here.
Okay,
And I lost you again, so we're gonna have to end it there, but call in some other time, okay? Or
right,
you can call back in later
then.
today
Sorry,
if people
man.
lose. Yeah. All right, man. Thanks for calling the Orthodoxer and all the support. Thank you for that as well. Yan, you are live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Hey LP. Just quickly before I get into what I wanted to call you about, the Superman movie. I'm actually planning on seeing it. I don't normally like cape shit either, but there's like this whole discourse going around on Twitter about how it's anti-Semitic, and like Ben Shapiro hated it because apparently like the plot is that there's like an American ally, not called Israel, but like the president of the country is like the most disgusting Jew you've ever seen as an actor.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Hold on. Interest is building.
Yeah, like it's like a Netanyahu stand-in. He's got like a massive hooked nose and like, yeah, and then like there's some other.
I saw the Lex Villain guy in one of the trailers, so it's not him, right?
No. I mean, he's in it as well. I think he like is like in cahoots with because the movie apparently like the whole thing is about Superman kind of like being at odds with the U.S. government because he doesn't want to support this Israel stand-in in their basically what like genocide essentially against these like poor brown people. So that looks kind of funny. And then yeah, like Ben Shapiro hated it. There's like a bunch of Jews on Twitter that are like, this movie's anti-Semitic, don't see it, it's anti-Israel. And then there's also, I saw a screenshot that like pretty decent meme that was going around because Lex Luthor has like a team of monkeys on Twitter like counter signaling Superman, saying he's like brown coated and shit like that. I don't know. Just it looks kind of interesting just because of that. So I just want to throw that out there. I thought that was what Space Godzilla was going to talk about when he first brought it up. But that wasn't really what I wanted to talk about. I was kind of interested in what you were saying about how when you were visiting your parents or and like your family in Canada and how they were talking about how much they hated Trump and the whole annexation stuff. And there's a like article, I think it was the New York Times, the New Yorker or something not too long ago also about how like Canadians are really, really mad at the United States right now or something. But it's really just the boomer generation. Like my uncles are like that the same way, are the same way like that. My dad, he like I put my dad onto you and some other shit. So he's a little bit more he's not as fucking outraged about that stuff, but it's just really interesting because there's they've done like study or surveys and stuff, and young people just don't give a shit. Like people under 30, they either like don't really care or they're even like kind of pro some form of annexation too. So it is like that generational divide. And like even the last election, right, is like there's the boomers and the older people that put Mark Carney in charge. So I think that's kind of interesting.
I think a lot of it's like, I don't know if you heard me talk about the kind of superiority complex that Canadians have, thinking they're like morally, intellectually like better than Americans, you know, like, oh, we don't have guns and we don't have like school shootings like you guys. And
well, there's that famous Rick Mercer skit from the early 2000s where he went down to the US and was like getting like interviewing Americans off the street and saying like, oh, should we bomb Saskatchewan? And Canada has a $3 coin made out of wood called the Woody now, and like I think
Yeah.
he got the governor of Texas or something to be like, congratulations Canada on your first Woody, and a lot of silly stuff like that. So
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
vaguely remember that exact bit, but yeah.
yeah, so I mean it's going around for a long time, right? But
Yeah, but so I think maybe that like younger people who grew up with the internet, it's probably a lot harder to propagandize them in that way, you know what I mean?
for sure, because I mean,
Yeah.
if you think about it too, like on the internet, there are obviously a lot of Canadian content creators, yourself included, and on the right and the left, whatever. But for the most part, they all try to capture an American audience. There's very, very few online creators who are Canadian that are like specifically making Canadian oriented content.
Right.
So
There
that's a
are
huge part of
some.
it.
There's like Jeremy McKenzie and the Ferryman. Those guys are pretty Canadian centric, Canadian creative.
Yeah,
but
well,
I know what
those
you
guys
mean,
are
and you're
kinda, like,
right.
more recent too, right? Like,
I mean,
there's some lefties
Jeremy
with, like,
McKenzie's
JJ
been around for a
McCullough
long
and-
time. I streamed with him like 7 years ago or something on my channel, but
true.
yeah, you're right. You're right that most people are just go for the American audience and talk more about Trump than they ever will about Trudeau or whoever.
Yeah. And the other thing I have to say too is it's kind of like futile, I find, with a lot of these Canadians who are going crazy about that, because to me, the way I see it, it's basically just like an inevitability geopolitically. Like eventually, unless the United States collapses first on a 100-year timeline, how long can Canada really hold out against, America? We already, all of our content is pretty much American.
I mean,
Canadians
I don't
consume
know
so
about
much.
that. I wouldn't say that annexation is an inevitability. These things, like, how many countries have been annexed in the last 100 years?
Well, I know, but it's
you know what I
kind of
mean?
like an appeal to the end of history stuff, though, too, right? Where it's like, oh, the status quo will hold on forever. But we really don't know how things will change on the longer term. Yeah, we can say definitely in like maybe the next 10, 20 years, it's not going to happen. Trump's not going to annex Canada, and neither will, any of his successors. But on a long enough timeline, it's hard to imagine a world where Canada continuously especially like in a world where Canada's like cozying up with China and all this shit, right? So it is bizarre, and especially as well because there's some stuff that came out kind of recently about how the Russiagate, a lot of the intelligence that was used for that, some of it was laundered through CSIS, like Canada's like spying
Yeah.
organization, right? And CSIS has been used basically as like a democratic exclusive sort of arm to be able to do some extrajudicial spying and things like that, because technically, you can spy on foreign nations, but we're allies, we share information,
Right.
and all that
Yeah,
stuff,
I don't know how much that's going to matter anyways, though. If it's coming, like if those orders came from Obama, then it's going to be hard to like blame Anyway, I don't think Canada's getting annexed, honestly, but who knows? Anything's possible. They should. That's the thing. Canadians should want it. And actually, Americans should want it too. A lot of Americans don't, because they're like, oh, those guys are all shit libs. But it's good. I think it would be good for everybody, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, I don't know if it would necessarily be that good, to be honest, because I think if it did happen, one of the first things would be a massive amount of migration from Canada into the United States. Like the population, it wouldn't surprise me if Canada, say it was Canada was get annexed by the United States tomorrow, people will kick and scream, but we're going to have like within a year, probably like 5-6 million people leave Canada for the US just because it's greener pastures. Right. So
I don't know about that either. I don't know about that. Maybe some more economic opportunities considering how big the US is, but Canada has like a lower cost of living while not being like a shittier place to live, honestly.
I don't think the cost of living is lower in Canada than it is in the US, especially if you can.
Not in like cities necessarily, but if you go into like the more, well, I don't know. I'm just talking out of my ass. I don't know. I'll tell you this, Canada is beautiful, man. There's lots of places in Canada that I would be happy to live.
Yeah, definitely. That's no doubt there.
And so I guess the point there is like, let's say millions of people did migrate. If you are the type of person who's like, I don't want to be around people, there's lots of rural areas in Canada you could go to that don't have a lot of people around. And some of them are like very white too. Those exist in America, of course, too. So I don't really even see any of that as an issue.
Well, that's true. In terms of like white population, Quebec and the eastern provinces are whiter, with whiter birth rates than almost any state in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So there is that holdout. One thing I wanted to mention too, just before I let you go, is when you were talking about your heritage, your ancestry the other day. You have a very Canadian heritage if you're mixed British Isles to come to Canada. And there's some guys on Twitter that talk about this a decent amount, like with the red ensign sort of being like the old flag being very indicative of what a Canadian is. You know, we are Scottish, Irish, French, and Brit and English, right?
Yeah, I saw when I watched that documentary from the Road Rage Terror Tour or whatever, Ferryman was saying that he's like, he kept holding up the red ensign and being like, this is the real Canadian flag.
Yeah, and you know that it makes Canadian, like ethnic Canadian, if you want to call it that. It is more of a singular identity than in the U.S. Like an ethnic American, you have like the English, obviously the WASP, the Germans, but you know it extends to like the Germans, the Irish, but it's a much broader net of white people that kind of coalesced and created this ethnogenesis in the U.S. Whereas Canada.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue it's only slightly broader depending how far forward in history you want to go. Like once you start adding in the Italians, it gets more significantly broader. But I'm part Irish, and my great grandmother was Irish as I was talking about on the stream, and Germans. More Germans in America for sure, but a small amount in Canada at the start. I read this book by that guy Duchesne. What the fuck's his name? Ricardo Duchesne or whatever. Yeah, and it's called like Canada in Decay, and it's just like this hyper autistic accounting of the demographics of the immigrants. It's kind of boring, but it's also like it's so well done. You know, he's right. Not even that he's right, but he's like, this is like as close as you're gonna get to a well-sourced accounting of like who built the country. And it was, you know, English, Irish, French, and some Germans basically.
Yeah. And they even tried to mitigate some of the Eastern European migration after a little while, right? Like there's a massive Ukrainian population in Alberta and Saskatchewan.
Right, the Bohunks, yeah.
70s, Alberta used to have something called the Alberta Board of Eugenics, where they would they would sterilize Ukrainian prisoners in Alberta.
That's fucking crazy. Whoa,
yeah, so
I didn't know that. One of my best friends growing up is Ukrainian, and he works for the CBC now. I won't say his name.
No, don't do that. Anyways, LP, just wanted to throw some stuff at you like that. So
cool. All right, Jan.
Man, always a fan.
Thank you. Have a good one. Philip Heisler, you are live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Yo, can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Wonderful. I was actually wanting to bring up that thing about the intentional communities.
Yeah.
I was really, really considering not a community, not like building shit, but like actually going out for hikes, going out to eat, stuff like that, in like trying to set one up in New Jersey. So anyone listening, anyone in Jersey, hit me up. But I was just wanting you to see your opinion on that.
I think it's great. I bemoan kind of not having enough time, but I know that's also partly an excuse, but it is hard for me. But I think it's great. I think absolutely people should be networking, socializing, like has value in and of itself. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to even be political or anything. Getting out with people and going for a hike is just good for your soul, full stop. So I mean, you'd have to be retarded to be against this or to call it stupid or anything.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I'm trying to go for more of a, well, obviously I'm fine with other people joining, but more geared towards like younger people. I'm 25, so like somewhat young, just like younger people, maybe guys, but like more conservative, more our sphere.
Yeah,
Trying to get more
like-minded.
Because if we have like a more cohesive group that could work out things, not be like these weirdo what is it that you said, like desocialized people. So try to like socialize our group.
Anti-socials. Get off the internet a little bit. And also, like, this is exactly the kind of thing you can do if, you know, like, not everybody has to be a fucking streamer or whatever, but if you want to get involved, if you want to be a little more proactive, try to just start a local group. You know, maybe you start off with just having coffee together, whatever. Maybe you go for a hike. Maybe you do some time at the gun range, you know, and you just try to like build it as you go. Maybe you get like a Facebook group going for it to help find people or whatever. I don't know the best way to do it, but I just like hearing people being like I'm going to be proactive and actually do something, you know?
Yeah, I noticed that I've been sort of wasting away, not doing anything, not socializing, and I'm just really depressed about it. So I just want to do something about it. I wanted to just announce that here.
There you go. Well, hit up Philip Heisler, guys, if you're in New Jersey.
Like northern New Jersey, if possible, but anywhere is fine. Yeah. Also, I want your opinion on Slavs.
Sloths? The animals?
Slavs. No, the ethnic group, Slavs.
Slavs.
I'm Slovakian. So I want your opinion on, like, I know they're recent, like more recent to the United States. Are they? Do you consider them white? A little less white? What do you think?
Not white, fit for the fields. No, I'm joking. I don't really have strong opinions, but I mean, I consider them white for sure. I don't think that's even that controversial. And kind of funny, like my idea of Slavs is probably kind of like a caricature that's maybe not, but like I just picture like guys in Adidas tracksuits squatting, you know, and shit like that when you say that, and so maybe not the most savory whites, but still white.
Well, I've definitely heard from like family and everything. I don't know if it's some sort of propaganda or plot that like Nazi Germany considered Slavs to be like less than human or like a little. Yeah, stuff like that.
Well, I know they didn't like gypsies and like what the Romani is that's like who the gypsies. That was the more technical name, right? And that's kind of like the same area, isn't it? But it's not the same people.
We're definitely not the same people. No.
Yeah.
And an interesting story before I go, actually, a family story. When my grandmother, my babishka, was in Slovakia during World War II, my great-grandmother was the cook of the village. So she would cook for like social events, weddings, everything. And a Nazi officer actually came to their house to eat, and she made him roast duck, and my grandmother had to taste it for poisoning. I don't know, I just thought that was an interesting story.
It is interesting. It's like right out of a movie.
There's also other things about how when the Soviets came by, they would gather people in the forest, have them dig big pit, and then shoot them in the back of the head. But anyway.
Oh, man. Those guys did not fuck around. All right, man. I got a lot of people waiting, so I should probably try to
no problem. Have a good
pick up the pace here. All right. Thank you. Cheers. That reminded me, I watched a movie where like a Nazi fell in love with a Jew. I watched it with Alice. I can't remember what it was called. Ozark, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Yeah. So about the Superman thing, don't worry, I'm not gonna repeat all the same stuff about it and everything, but I did notice. I guess I've gotten to the point where when I saw the actor playing Superman, I saw the phenotype right away. Like this was the first time they actually had a Aryan, a non-Atlantic. Usually, it's what they call the Atlantic Nordic phenotype. Playing them from Christopher Reeve to like Tom Welling when I was a kid on Smallville. But this is the first time it's actually a kosher actor playing Superman himself. And as far as like people talking about the propaganda or whatever behind it, it actually is. It's sort of timidly, kind of thinly veiled anti-Israel, but I think what it is it's you know how sometimes they'll try to get out ahead of it because the noticing has gotten pretty wide by now. So they're trying to come out as an anti-Israel thing, but looking at it as, it's the big bad America fault. It's
Of
the big bad
course.
American empire's fault.
Of course.
It's the corporate guys. It's because there were actually a lot of Israelis. This is actually hilarious. I always joke now about Hollywood when they make movies. Thank you for spending $1 billion to give me a couple funny meme platforms. But they were freaking out on Twitter talking about, wait a minute. And the funny thing is they were telling on themselves while they were freaking out on Twitter about it. They said, wait a minute, we control the Hollywood studios that made this. He's the actor who plays Superman's a Jew. The whole reason we created Superman in the first place was to push our propaganda. And while they were freaking out about this, they're basically telling on themselves and admitting that the whole point of Superman was to push their propaganda this whole time. But I think that's what they're doing. It's kind of, they're desperately trying to rein back in the left. If they know the left is going to be pro-Palestine, there's nothing they can do about it. They're trying to make it about the global empire that they're opposing and not the ethnic, identity and agenda. They're trying to make that a little more vague. But as far as the general propaganda, Superman has kind of been what they would call woke almost from the very get-go. It was a Jewish guy that made it. And even back then, during the 50s, they used it for desegregation. There was actually a Superman cartoon where they showed a bunch of black kids going to school with white kids and said, if you don't support desegregation, you are un-American. Like that, which is kind of ironic because it's the opposite of how the country was founded. And in one of the earlier Superman cartoons, it actually showed Superman fighting the Klan. And that was not, the decade or two after the ADL was created over the whole Mary Fagan deal and Leo Frank. So it's basically always been politically to push their agenda and to try to kind of co-opt Americanism, for their ironically anti-American agenda. But that was just something interesting around, Superman that I thought was kind of relevant to the history that it's good for us to know. And as far as the Slavic guy too, Slavs are white as far as like genetically. They cluster very closely with Germanics. They're steppe herder people, just like the Germans, just like the Celts. So that, in fact, they even cluster more closely with other Northern Europeans than they do with, other Europeans. It's the same thing with their language too. It's Indo-European, came from the main Indo-European branch from the steppe herders. So yeah, as far as the Slavic guys go, they are a little bit more recent arrivals. And a cool thing about the Slavs I noticed too, and you probably noticed this, was the former communist bloc. While we were kind of subjected to this, anti-white psyop to kind of deracinate us, that kind of missed the Slavs. They're still very ethnocentric. They still have kind of a stronger ethnic identity because, communism just basically, it didn't want to psychologically deracinate them. Communism just opposed them with straight up brutality. And if anything, that brutality kind of hardened their ethnic resolve. So I actually see a lot of potential with the Slavs coming here. I think they could actually be kind of a gateway to, re-racinate, if that's even the word. But yeah, I like the Slavs for those reasons.
Yeah, that makes sense. That all makes sense. I'm not really, there's a lot there. I don't really know what to say. Was there anything else you wanted to call in about, or was it just that stuff?
Well, yeah, kind of just that thing about Superman that, it's pretty much literally always been for their propaganda of whatever they're trying to push politically at the time. And they've literally been doing that with Superman for 70 years now.
Yes, I agree with that too. Absolutely. Cool, man. Well, I do got a lot of people waiting, so we'll just call him, but I agree with everything you said.
All right. Thanks, man.
Thank you, Ozark. Have a good one. Deracinate. Yeah, he said re-racinate though, and then he said is re-racinate a word. Funny incidental thing about I've been like studying for my civics like citizenship test, and it's like one of the questions is like what are 3 rights guaranteed by the Declaration of Independence? And I think I said like what is it? Life, liberty, and the American way, or whatever. It's like, no, retard, that's Superman. It's the what is the right answer? I get the right and the wrong one mixed up. It's like the pursuit of happiness. Is it life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? Then what's the Superman one with the American way? Anyway, whatever it is, I got it backwards. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to pass my test. Don't worry about that. Then my mother-in-law was telling me how one of the guys writing it, they wanted to have property in there as a guaranteed right, and they argued about it, but he got overruled. And so instead of saying the like property, it says the pursuit of happiness. The Orthodoxer, you're back. What's up, man?
Hey, you're gonna fail that civics test.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Watch LP, the guy who has the most in common with Americans, without being an actual American just yet, fail the exam. But then we have Infinity Gorillion brown people flooding here.
I'm not worried about the exam.
And I was
Truth, justice, the
same
American way.
live
Thank you.
stream.
Sorry. I was just because I got them mixed up. But yeah, that's right. I said truth, justice, the American way, and everybody laughed. And like, no, that's Superman. You
It's
retard.
life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
That's what it
my
is.
friend. You
Yes.
got that.
Yes.
There you go.
Got it.
But I wanted to touch upon the Canadians aren't as friendly as we think they are on that same live stream.
Yep.
My buddy Tyler, when he was in middle school, he had to move away to Alberta, so right outside of Calgary. When he got back to Texas, he told me, he was like, dude, those Canadian kids beat the shit out of me in middle school. They hated Americans, and they had this superiority complex to them, like you were saying earlier. So I'm like, wow, I don't hear people talk about this, but you're pretty right. I mean, just my anecdotal, like my own
it's you know what
experience.
it is. It's like blacks having a superior. It really comes from a feeling of inferiority.
So true. I mean, Canada is literally just like, whether they like it or not, their entire existence depends upon us, the United States. Without us, they'd be absolutely nothing. All their trade would be gone. Their economy would collapse. I mean, it's only a gesture of goodwill we even let them be a country at this point. And I mean, well, let's be real. I kind of had a falling out with the guy, but this Canadian dude who you would say is malignant. What was that word you're saying a ton the other day? Maligned. Maladaptive. Yeah, he's one of those bitter Canadians. He just sees Indians everywhere, even in rural Ontario. He's just so black-pilled and whatnot. But he did say a funny thing to me a while ago. He was like, 30 fat rednecks with shotguns could take over Canada in a fortnight. I was like, that sounds about right to me.
Yeah, pretty much. Maybe not Alberta. I wouldn't start with Alberta if I were them, but yeah, pretty much.
Okay, is there credence to that? Everyone keeps saying Alberta's like the Texas of Canada. Like, what makes Alberta like stand out from the rest?
Yeah, it's just
if
more
you can give like a short answer.
More white and conservative, and just kind of more redneck, you know.
Oh, okay. And it's funny you mentioned the Ukrainian.
I do have to wrap this up because there's more people. I don't know how you got back in front of the line, but there's a bunch of people waiting, and I already had you on. So make this last one quick, okay?
One quick, yeah. I actually was not expecting to be up this early. Anyway, but the funny thing is, you're saying there's Ukrainians in Alberta, and I'm seeing a lot of Orthodox Christianity rise out of Alberta, so that makes sense to me. So, and also my parents are in Banff. I just wanted to say that, and it's beautiful out there. But yeah,
It is beautiful in Banff.
Thanks, LP.
Yeah. All right, man. Thank you. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Banff is beautiful. Ked's dead. You are live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was gonna say in defense of hiding your power level, like the whole thing with Pine Sap the other day. Like if you know the etymology of that, it comes from Dragon Ball Z. And like a lot of times in Dragon Ball Z, if there was like a regime that was in power, like the Z fighters would hide their power levels because they weren't strong enough to like win at the time.
Right.
And so like when Goku, and they wouldn't show or reveal their power level till usually like when Goku shows up and they're ready to take a victory.
Yeah.
And in that same vein, I just kind of feel like it's important to hide your power level, and like you really should, unless there's something to truly be gained, like you're about to win something, you should probably keep it down. And I say that in regards to Pine Sap, and also with Arval and like the intentional communities. Like I agree with it in principle, but I do not think it's wise, like at all. Like I believe in that, and it's like my intentional white community is just making a lot of money and then going to live where people can't afford to be at. But like in principle, I do agree that they should be able to do that, but we're not in power, right? So like Jewish people do this all the time. They have communities where you can't move in, but who runs the courts, right? How's that going to work if someone tries to sue them over discrimination? They're going to win. We can't do that. And I've seen this play out too many times with like Ruby Ridge or Waco and places like that. Like they'll find a way. And then you've also got these dysgenic freaks that are like freaking pagans and stuff that want to come in there and live.
Well,
like,
I will say this. I saw on Twitter today, I saw a clip. Some news organization went there and filmed a little bit and talked to some of the other people, and it looked good. I was always very like, what is actually going on over there? And then I got like a little glimpse. They talked to like some women who were there. They walked around, and it all looked good. So, you know, hey man, I just hope I just hope they're successful. You know what I mean? It's easy to sit around and be like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, but it's one of those, you know, people do this with Patriot Front too. It's like people do this with everything. People do this with streamers. So like, oh no, when somebody's trying to start an online platform, no one watches, you know. Then years later, when you are successful, everyone wants to pretend like they were always on board and they thought it was a great idea. I wish them all the best, and I hope they have nothing but success.
I do wish them luck. I just don't think it'll work. I hope it does. I hope I'm proven wrong, if anything.
Yeah.
But the one thing I would also say to bring it back to hiding your power level is like, I would even argue that even once you get into power, it's probably still best that you hide your power level. I mean, if we're going to look at how Jews did it, you think they were just out saying like, hey, we should start APAC and like lobby like this, and then we'll just talk to each other in private and do things for the benefit of Israel, and like they were just out in the open with their plans? Or you think they were tight-knit and kept it to themselves and like they're running stuff? And you see what happens now that they are showing their power level.
Yeah, it's
like,
it's
all
tough.
The anti-Semitism's rising and everything else.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I think you have a point, but it's hard because Jews in group preference has always just been like innately, explicitly there. We have lost that and are trying to get it back. So it's like we're navigating a much different.
That's so true.
It's like something that's almost never happened in history, where it's like, how do you make a demoralized, deracinated, completely like de-identified people like reclaim their identity, and like how do you do that while pretending it's not what you're trying to do? It's not. I don't know, man. I don't have all the answers. It's a hard one. We'll leave it there though, Keds.
I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah.
The thing I was gonna say is like how you said, how do you do it without because if other people don't see that it's something you can do, then that in-group preference isn't going to come back. So you can't really just hide it, I guess. I didn't really consider that.
Yeah.
Like you have to show it can be done. Otherwise, that in-group preference never comes back. So I don't know, man.
It's tough. I guess the only thing I would say is like, don't show your power level unless you're willing to take all of the consequences, some of which can be absolutely horrific. But we're going to leave it there because I got to get to some of these other callers.
All right, later.
All right, man. Thanks for calling. All right, guys. I'm going to try to move through the callers kind of quicker here just because there's still a bunch of people and I'm running out of time. The Wolf Sagan, you are live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
How's it going, man?
Good.
In response to that last caller, lions and foxes. But anyway, after that, I volunteer at one of my local state parks. Today we had someone who they had heat exhaustion. And it's, some overweight black lady, whatever. And I remember thinking, because I ran out some water to them, and then the firefighter or the EMT guys show up. I remember thinking, like, the people that came to save this lady, and she had some other black lady with her, were 5 white guys, right?
Yeah.
And this is happening, hundreds of thousands of times across the nation. And so if you're like a non-white and you live in America and you even like dislike white people, you're either like retarded or evil or both. Because it's like if I was like dying of heat exhaustion and all the people who literally carried me out of the middle of the forest and saved my life were of one particular skin color, like there would be some positive feelings there,
Yeah, of course. The thing is like I never wanted to spend my life doing racial activism. You know what I mean? I'm like most other white people. I just was like, yeah, cool. Let's all get her. But the more than anything, it's like the animosity that is directed towards us, which is just like undeniable if you don't have your head in the sand. It makes you realize like, oh well, this is like impossible. Basically. But so like I blame them. I blame them for having that animosity, for being anti-white, for having all this like resentment that they have towards us when we tried to do the whole, multicultural kumbaya type shit, and it wasn't good enough for them. They want you to grovel and hand over your wealth and this and that and apologize, bend the knee, and they want to talk shit about you, and it's like, okay, well, I just don't feel bad for what's coming.
Yeah, low moral fiber. That was it, man. Take care.
Cool, man. Thanks for calling. Colossington, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
How's it going, LP? I'm just here as a founding representative of the Old Glory Club. We have about, like, I recall about, I don't know, maybe 5 callers ago, one of your guys was talking about hiking in South Jersey. The Old Glory Club organizes chapters of guys to network and conduct meetups locally. We have about 32 chapters across the states and about 500 members total. I used to actually organize in that area, and Distributist and I used to organize hikes in that area. I just wanted to promote the platform and the organization.
Yeah, I am vaguely familiar. Like I've heard of it. I've seen the Twitter account before, and I've seen people talk about it. So there you go, guys. You don't always have to start everything from scratch and reinvent the wheel either. There is the Old Glory Club setting up these, and there's other groups too. Like I follow some like Telegram channels that do like these active clubs and stuff like that. So you should also look if there's already something like that in your area that you could just join up with.
Yeah, the Old Glory Club, the way we set it up was that we don't do political activism the same way like Identity Europa used to do. We only organize networking and meetup events. I think I posted in your chat that, my Pittsburgh chapter cleaned up about 3 big trash cans worth of garbage at our local park just a month ago. We're an apolitical club, but we network and organize heritage Americans for our own interests, and we try to network our various business contacts to make sure that our guys are as networked as we possibly can, given our network. I'm just here to promote the OGC as a founding member.
Sweet.
And also, the guy who used to run our OGC Twitter account, Doug the Intern, is in fact dead. Stop asking me about him.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, LP.
Okay, Clossington, thanks for calling. Brian Edward Morgan, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Oh, I was just wondering what you think about the Obama thing, like where they say they're gonna go out and arrest him or whatever.
Never. It's, lock her up, Hillary Clinton. It's never going to happen. Never, ever. Obama is not going to jail. He's not getting charged. Maybe no. So it's political theater.
What were they trying to cover up with that?
The theoretical charges is that Obama, his administration ordered essentially the creation of like the Russian dossier on Trump that showed that the 2016 election was quote unquote hacked by Russia, and basically like started this whole Russian collusion, the Russia hoax thing where Russia was responsible for getting Trump elected, and it was all fake. And I don't know too much into the weeds details, but basically Obama they had ordered like the creation of like this intel and that, and it was like it involved spying on Trump and like spying on his and stuff like that. And so it's like, like a treason charge or something like that, or like tampering with elections or whatever that they would go after, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm changing topics completely now. Did you see that Tucker Anna Kasparian interview?
I saw that they did it. I haven't watched the actual interview. I've seen like one clip of it.
Yeah, it's funny. She's like talking about how Israel sold drones to Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan, and then the Muslims were using those to kill the Christian country, and she was very emotional about it. It's just weird because it just seems like a few years ago we were all enemies, and now she's like on the side. And that's it. Thanks.
Yeah, Anna's all right. She's not like our gal or anything, but she's all right. She's come a long way. All right, man. Thanks for calling. Have a good one.
All right.
Austin, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take? Austin.
Hey, LP, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Hello?
Check. Hello?
Hello?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Prodigal Hareem, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Hey, LP. It's been a rough week. So I posted that small segment yesterday by Tosin Abasi with the caption, anecdotes do not negate a data set, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like for 5.5 years in my 20s, I suffered from a really painful and debilitating immune disorder. Let's be quick about that. Sorry. And so I went through like 4 kinds of doctors, okay? Specialists all trying to deal with this. The first 2, they gave me treatments of one kind or another, but it never really solved the problem. And I'm not going to tell you what kind of doctors they were.
Yeah.
You're going to tell me what kind of doctors they were.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So anecdotes. So the last two kind of sort of helped me along, but it was number 5 who fixed me up. Turned out I was heavily deficient in vitamin D, and within a month I was off all my medications. And I'm going to tell you what kind of doctor he was. He was a Jewish doctor. He was probably the last good one, and he was a friend of mine from high school, and he just passed from brain cancer. Oh god. Oh god.
Did you say brain cancer?
Yeah. He just passed from it. 41 years old, I think, if he was the same age as me. Yeah. So yeah, I did not, just like you said, you didn't want to you didn't want to get into this kind of thing, earlier in your years.
Sure.
I grew up in a very, very Jewish town. I wasn't wanting this to happen to me. But you can only see so much. You can only be taxed for your health by so many doctors, but before like an over-the-counter solution is like, you've been working alongside it. I was a grocery store clerk at this time. I was just like not getting I was not in the sun. I was going into work at 4 p.m., coming out at midnight, and probably staying in my house the rest of the day. But yeah, so anecdotes don't negate the data set.
Right.
Was the point I was trying to get at. And I just before this, I was on Facebook and I saw a picture of Uncle Adolf playing with Blondie. And so I'm a little emotional. So I'm going to call it quits on that. All right.
Okay, man. Thanks for calling.
Sure. Bye.
Cheers. The fuck? What the fuck was that? Austin, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello?
Can you hear me, sir?
Okay. Yes, thank you. I was going to say, I grew up in an all-white community, like small town. And you know what kept it that way is Confederate flags being put everywhere around everybody's houses in neighborhoods. It's literally like the thing that keeps black people away. Whenever you put a Confederate flag around your area, that's what kept that neighborhood white. I mean, like, you can do certain things to make black people not feel welcome.
Yes.
Without having to like go out
break
and
the
be
law.
an Amish person.
Yes.
This
is why
to do it.
This is why we should make circumcision. I always say this is why we should make circumcision illegal, because then your country's not hospitable to Jews and Muslims. Are you listening on the YouTube stream? Because there's like a 7-second delay. Hello? Okay.
I don't know what's going on, but I just wanted to let you know about that.
Okay, man. Thank you for calling. Jay McDonald, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Hey, yeah. I've been watching your stuff since you've been like way back in the day when you were getting banned on Facebook every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I just I was thinking about you. Like a friend of mine, I'm from Alaska, and we're from a pretty small town, so it's kind of like it's a small sample size, but it's a good control group because we still know and are in contact with all those people. We had a graduating class of like, I want to say like 70 to 80 people. And we got kind of curious to see what the demographics would look like going forward. Like, I don't know if that's the right word for it, but we went through and contacted everyone because we're coming up on 40. We're like 38, and 40 is a pretty good number because after that, female fertility drops down like near zero. And we just we did a survey to ask people like who had kids, and then a couple things about like mostly their political ideology. And it wasn't really very surprising, but we actually put it together into a report. The people that were leftist spectrum, they're like well below one kid, like not even half the replacement rate. And the people that were, right of center, the further right they went, they're well over replacement. Me and my friend in particular, we're at that end of the spectrum all the way out there, and we're each at like 4 or 5 kids. So it's like looking at those results and going forward, when you skip forward like 2 or 3 generations of that kind of behavior, it's almost like we're going through a kind of
selection
evolutionary gate.
event. Yeah. The problem, I get what you're saying, but the problem is, I'm sorry, I'll let you finish, but I just want to interject, is that like that when you look at white people, that's how it works. But if you compare races, you have whites are very low birth rate compared to like blacks in America and stuff like that, and they're obviously not like far right, and even if they were, they're not white. So it's kind of a cope to be like, we're outbreeding the shit libs. It's like, yeah, that like we're as a race, we are fading in that way. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that in, but what else were you gonna say?
Well, you're right about that, but that I haven't really like drawn a hard conclusion on it. Like I'm making the observations, and I don't really know what to make of the data. There's definitely something really interesting that's going on there, because if you take if you take me and him and our classmates that had, they're well under half the replacement rate, there isn't like a clear physical difference between us. It's really just an ideological one. Like I don't really see what traits are being that are being bred out or dying off. And I don't really personally know what to make of it. It's just, so there's a very real phenomenon there. It's just, we're about like 100 or 200 years into a coordinated and persistent demoralization campaign. And it just feels like it's kind of reaching the crescendo right now. So just, wanted to just add that 2 cents in there. Just not very helpful, because I'm not drawing a hard conclusion. I'm just saying, like, I have hard data, and like there's something that's actual, very real that's happening right now.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I don't know what the conclusion to draw either, other than like the more you reject the demoralization and the brainwashing, the more the more you end up like well adapted and living your life correctly, and also being like, if you were to like you could correlate this with so many things, right? Like right-wing people are happier too. They're more satisfied with life. So I gotta go get my dog. Sorry, he's freaking the fuck out. I gotta go. I'll be right back. Diesel, get in here. What are you? Sorry, are you still there? He's gone. All right. Peixoto, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Yo, what are you wearing, a robe or something? What is that?
No, it's my blanket. That's my fucking. I almost always stream with like a blanket over my lap. No, you weren't supposed to see that. Cold. It's like my comfort blanket.
That's cool. Yeah, you're getting old, man. You're getting cold. Got to be wrapped up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just need about an hour of your time because I have a big.
Oh, cool.
No, I just wanted to say, have a good weekend, buddy.
Thank you, Peixoto. Good to hear from you.
Yep. Peace.
Cheers. All right, 2 more, and then I'm out of here. Trog Groiper, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me, bro?
Yes.
Yeah, I called in a while ago about I was one of the guys who said that it was possible that maybe Trump was in on losing the election. So just a little tie back to the time I called in.
Hold on. So everybody fucking pretending like I'm the only guy who likes blankets. What? This is what we're doing now. Oh, I'm the only one who likes to have a blanket when they're sitting. I don't think so. I know what you guys are doing, trying to gaslight me and shit. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So my take this weekend was like on Twitter, a lot of people like kind of navigating towards this JQ radio thing and just how absolutely gay it is. Like all of these guys have the same exact takes, like, and then with everything shifting over to the right with Trump and everything, like it's like a pigeonhole towards these guys on Instagram. I mean, on towards Twitter, who all like are anti-Christian, who are all like this HT guy's a total degenerate. All of these guys, and they're the ones getting all the views, while like most of the, I guess you could say, grassroots people who like actually have legit takes and are like legit people like get no views. Like it's all turning into just,
are they getting
show.
that much attention? Like I haven't been in one of the spaces. I didn't even know they were happening until HT tweeted at me with his new account, and I followed him back, and so now I sometimes see when they're live, and it's you know how like X shows you how many people are in the space. It's like 250 people. Like that is literally fuck all, man. That is nothing.
But my point is, like, the fact that they exist is.
But
just, like,
we are talking about them a lot. People are talking about it a lot, so I do kind of they are getting a lot of attention, but it's because they're so loud and frankly unpleasant. That's mostly what people are talking about.
They're frankly just terrible and should just be like excommunicated.
Yeah, I don't want to shit talk too much because it's like preferably we should all be kind of just working towards the same goal, but
yeah, but they're just there to like tear it down, really. Like if you really get to the very end of like the tunnel, like they're only a detriment.
They
Like,
are deeply misguided for sure.
They're just terrible, dude. So praise God, hail Hitler, but not those guys.
Okay.
And 1488, brother. Let's go.
All right. Thank you, Trogroy, for having a good one. Gary Maricano, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
LP, just because Manny hasn't been calling in doesn't mean I'm Mexican now.
You know what it is I always like read your name as Mexicano for some reason.
I was gonna say real quick, for the guy with the 5 Jewish doctors and the vitamin deficiency, he should be drinking 8 glasses of milk a day like a proper white man, whole milk. And
wait, why should I be drinking 8 glasses of milk?
To stay hydrated and keep your vitamin D up.
What was the thing you said though right before I should be drinking milk?
Oh, the guy with the 5 Jewish doctors and the vitamin deficiency.
Ah, got it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I really had to say.
Sweet. Okay. Yeah, all right, man. Thanks for calling. All right, guys, that's going to be the show for today. Thank you, everybody, for calling. You guys have a great day. You Can't Stop Progress will be here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. We'll be back with another Cope Monday morning. I will catch you guys on the flip side. Peace out.
I was born in a prison with no hope for escape. I got used to the silence as I stuck in my cage. You cannot miss what you have never seen before. But deep inside you know there must be more. You cannot miss what you have never seen before. But deep inside you know there must be more. but I could not follow. It was a language didn't know. I seen a light, and it used to blind me. Was it real, or just a dream? No, you cannot miss what you have never seen before. But deep inside you know there must be more. You cannot